Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today to commemorate this pivotal moment for Chicago Region Environmental and Transportation Efficiency Program. From now on, I'm just going to say the word create. I am Tanya Adams, and I am the National Board Chair of the Conference of Minority Transportation Officials, better known as COMTO, and I am the Senior Vice President of Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity at WSP. COMTO's mission is to ensure opportunities in transportation industry for minority individuals, veterans, people with disabilities, and certified MWDBE businesses through leadership training, professional development, scholarships, internship funding, political advocacy, partnership building, and networking opportunities. We believe that diversity moves this world. With over 300 members, across 40 chapters of the United States and Canada, COMTO members represent every facet of the transportation industry. We're here today in the footprints of the 75th Street Corridor Improvement Program, SIP, where we'll be announcing 2 historic grants awards from the United States Department of Transportation that will alleviate the most congested rail chokehold in Chicago Terminal and in this region. Public partnerships like CREATE program are critical to untangle freight and passenger lines to reduce delays and improve the quality of life of the residents in this neighborhood and across Chicago. 75th SIP program is truly one of the significant projects that are going on today. Segment A of CREATE, Project EW2, is the third major project of 4 within the 75th Street SIP that will significantly reduce the conflict of freight and passengers while improving community mobility. The CREATE program is excited to build upon the momentum of the first 2 components within the SIP corridor: the Forest Hill Flyover, CREATE Project P3, and the 71st Street grade separation, CREATE Project GS19, which were funded through 2018 Infra Grant. As you sort of can see behind me, the bridge is much in progress, and it's already things are being done. Segment A of EW2 is a 3rd-mile elevator rail corridor that will bring and reduce critical congestion and increase capacity. The grant awards for the United States Department of Transportation through the MEGA and Infra Grant programs will fund improvements, reconfigure track segments, new signals for the Belt Junction, a 3rd rail addition to Norfolk Southern Line, and replace restoration of 14 aging bridges and viaduct structures here on Chicago's South Side. The 75th Street SIP has been a model program in this community. It has done something very passionate that I am in love with, is the commitment to our schools and to STEM. I would like to acknowledge any of the school's principals or students who are here today. These learning projects have enhanced programs like CREATE in the Classroom, the Brain Trust, Building Bridges competition, and thank you for all your participation and for all of our students and the students who are going to come afterwards, for all the things that they're going to help us do in this transportation industry. I would like to thank you again for being here and for your continued support of the CREATE program. Your partnership has been critical to the success of this program, and this is why we're all here today to celebrate. I especially like to acknowledge representatives from the City of Chicago's Council who are here today. Cordell Jackson is representing Alderman Moore. Nicholas Stratton is here representing Alderman Timothy Knudsen. And I would like to acknowledge Cook County Commissioner Frank Aguilar, who's also in attendance today. I stand before you today quite honored to announce the next person who's coming to this podium, the governor of the great state of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker.
Well, thank you very much, Tanya, and I'm a very kind introduction. And to all of you. I feel like standing room only, this is evidence that we're a hardy bunch, we Illinoisans, right? Good morning to everyone. Oh, no, I'm expecting more from President Preckwinkle. There we go. Whenever I say good morning to President Preckwinkle, even if there's no crowd around, I get a hearty good morning back, so thank you. I want to thank everybody for joining us today and celebrating another opportunity to invest in Illinois' infrastructure. I want to start by thanking our partners from the CREATE program team, the Illinois Department of Transportation, the U.S. Department of Transportation, all of whom helped us secure this investment. And I want to also thank the many teachers and principals and schools that have been involved. Yeah, raise your hand up. Yeah, there we go. It's great for our young people to be involved in something like this, and it's part of an objective that we have for the state of Illinois to give people opportunities to get jobs that don't require them to go to a four-year university or to take on debt in order to get a decent job. So I'm very pleased about that. And I'd like to take a moment this morning to mention our great Transportation Secretary, Omar Osman. Omar is retiring after 35 incredible years with IDOT. Mr. Secretary, where are you, by the way? There you are. Mr. Secretary, you've had an incalculable impact on this organization, on the transportation system of the state, on the people of Illinois. You're leaving behind a truly impressive legacy, and we're all very grateful for your service and the progress that our transportation systems have made under your leadership. Thank you. None of the federal support for these projects would have happened but for our congressional delegation in Washington, including our great senior senator, Senator Dick Durbin, as well as the many members of our congressional delegation. We have Mike Quigley and Sean Casten and Representative Garcia with us today. And Chewy, thank you for being here. And I don't want to miss anybody. You're all important, by the way. You're all important. Our progress would not have been made possible without resources allocated by my partners in the General Assembly, including Senator Preston and many others, as well as our county government and our great Cook County Board President, Tony Preckwinkle. We're also, of course, joined by Metra CEO Jim Derwinski and City of Chicago CEO John Roberson. Thank you all. Thanks to everybody that's been engaged here for your persistence at making Illinois' infrastructure among the best in the nation, and it really is. For the past 5 years, upgrading and modernizing our rail infrastructure has been among my highest priorities. Illinois is the largest rail center in the entire nation, playing a vital role in the flow of goods and commerce across the entire country. But decades of neglect and underinvestment were putting our status as a rail hub at risk and holding back the growth potential of our economy. So at the state level, we vowed to take immediate action when I got elected through our historic Rebuild Illinois infrastructure plan. Since taking office, the General Assembly and I have committed over $1 billion for our rail network, with $600 million supporting passenger rail and $450 million supporting the CREATE program. The result has been a plethora of projects that are restoring and revitalizing every aspect of our rail system. But this endeavor wasn't just about rectifying the shortcomings of the past. It's been about improving the lives of families and businesses in Illinois and growing our economy for the future. Today, we take another giant leap forward in that pursuit through a historic federal investment in our railways brought to us by the Biden-Harris administration and the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. Illinois has been granted 2 separate awards totaling nearly $300 million that will upgrade and build a world-class rail network that helps cement our place at the heart of the American economy. This includes the largest grant in the history of CREATE, over $200 million through the MEGA program, one of the key infrastructure investment programs championed by the Biden-Harris administration. In addition, CREATE's 75th Street Corridor Improvement Project will receive $81 million in funding. These are, truly, these are transformational investments that will enhance rail efficiency, reduce congestion, promote growth up and down the state, and of course across the country. Through investments like these, Illinois is solidifying our place in the middle of everything, as we like to say, improving the lives of people across the entire nation, of course improving our rail system and our economy. So congratulations to everyone on this great announcement. It is now my honor to turn this podium over to a champion for the people of Illinois, a champion for transportation, and someone that all of us rely on for a great future in our state, and that is our great senior senator, Dick Durbin.
Thank you, Governor. Let me join the chorus. Omer, we're going to miss you, buddy. You've done a great job, and it's been a pleasure working with you. I'm sure I'll see you some more, but thanks for all you've done for the state of Illinois and our nation. I'm going to talk about luck for a minute. I think we're a pretty lucky bunch. You got to be lucky to meet on Friday the 13th. Have 13 speakers and be 13 degrees outside. So we've had some good luck and we need it moving forward. I guess the first announcement on CREATE was 2005. That's the first time I took credit for the whole program. I've continued that through the years as millions of dollars have come our way. Part of it's built in. I'm from a railroad family in East St. Louis, Illinois. Mom, Dad, two brothers, and I all worked for a railroad at some point in our lives, so it's in my blood. But it also, I've come to realize, it's our strong suit. You want to know why Illinois is a success? Great people, for sure. But what a great location. Smack dab in the middle of this country, we have been, here they come again, we have been part of the growth of the American economy throughout the years and continue to with projects just like this. I could go through the specifics of the project, but they've already been mentioned, and there's no point in doing that. I'll just tell you this. This is a challenge. I'm going to state it publicly because it means so much. We have a major project pending in this state called CHIP. It involves Chicago's Union Station. It is a critical element in modernizing railroads in Chicago and the state of Illinois. There's $1 billion on the table, $1 billion federal dollars on the table, if we can come forward with an agreement by the principals who have been at the negotiating table for months and months and months. I've been nice about it. I've met with both of them. I've talked to all of them. But it boils down to this. Amtrak, Metra, Canadian National, and UP have a deadline of midnight Monday night to come to an agreement. Enough is enough. Reach an agreement. Let's move forward. We want to bring more federal dollars back into the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois. Part of bringing dollars home is the work of the House of Representatives. We got a key congressman on a THUD subcommittee, and I want to bring him up here right now, Mike Quigley.
My friends, thanks for queuing the trains for us. We appreciate our extraordinary governor who gets all this. County Board President works very well with us seamlessly as we move forward on those efforts. I think most people appreciate Dick Durbin, but I'll be honest, probably not enough. You know, he was kidding about taking credit for everything, but I would tell you, we would have a lot less, and Illinois would really have suffered all these years without his extraordinary leadership and the work he does on appropriations. So I want to thank him, and I'm so glad to be here with my two colleagues who really get this. I'm going to introduce Sean before I have to run back to the north side for an event. Let me say this. My common line is, if it rolls, floats, or flies, it comes through Chicago. and it's extraordinary. But I think we don't necessarily understand enough of why Create matters so much. It was listed just exactly what this project's going to do and what it means. I mean, you can add a lot more to that. It's not just the safety of people on the trains, it's people who live in these neighborhoods who now have a safe opportunity to get across their area without being risked. So it is something that we are the envy of the country. I'm the ranking dim on the Transportation Appropriations Subcommittee. We have people from all over the country saying, how can we create where we are? Because that public-private partnership, that coordination is the key to a region where 1 in 4 trains run through the city of Chicago. So I think we have a lot to be grateful for, but the senator talked about luck. We're going to have to make our own luck in the coming years, and it's going to get difficult. The day after the election, right after that, I was talking to Governor Pritzker about making sure we get everything locked in on the existing money coming through that flow of the pipeline so none of it's lost. He and others get that and what we're going to have to do. But I hear ominous signs that there will be less money appropriated for transit, for housing, and there will be attempts to claw that back. So for anyone who was sleepwalking through the last election, not recognizing the real threats to Chicago and our region, now's the time to roll up our sleeves. This isn't time to, there's no crying in baseball or politics. We've got work to do. So I want to thank all of you for this work and what this means. And before I leave, I'm going to bring up our friend who gets all this and does a great job, works extremely hard, Sean Caston.
Thank you, Mike, and thanks to everybody who's here today. There are, on any project like this, there are too many people to thank, mostly because these projects don't happen without coordination at every level, from the city to the county to the state, federally, the private sector, the work that the railroads have done. And I'll just give my one huge thank to the Create project, because the amount of cat herding that has to be done to make projects like this come together is just remarkable. And Mike was right. This is the envy of a lot of other districts. We have this great good fortune in the city of Chicago to be built on infrastructure and built on logistics. We're particularly on the south and west sides. This corridor that's between O'Hare and Midway and the Belt Yard in between, and all the intermodal facilities from Cicero down to Calumet and everywhere in between. And we have this amazingly vibrant economy because of things that our predecessors did to put that together. For those of us who represent people in these communities, as Mike said, sometimes that's great because it's a source of economic activity. Sometimes it's kind of a pain because you don't have a sidewalk that you can get across the train track. You've got emergency vehicles and fire stations that are doubled up on both sides of the tracks because they can't move around. And of course, all of us who've lived here have seen those long unit trains of coal and grain be converted to even longer container trains that have got to go through these intermodal facilities that are gumming up the traffic. And this is a really good problem to have, but it's a challenge. And I remember when the Create folks first called us after we got the infrastructure bill done, said we need to push for this project. I spoke with Secretary Buttigieg, and I said, you're going to have a ton of calls with at least 535 people in Congress, 100 senators and 435 members of Congress, saying that their project is the most important. And it's your great good fortune, Secretary Buttigieg, to be talking to the only person who's not lying to you. Because if you debottleneck the Chicago economy, you not only help out those school kids, you not only help out those emergency vehicles, you not only grow the city of Chicago, you not only help Illinois, you grow the whole country. And kudos to everybody who made this happen to give our grandkids something to be as proud of as we are, the work that our grandparents did to get here. So thank you very much. And now hand it over to my good friend and guy who lives in the heart of all of this transportation logistics, Congressman Garcia.
Good morning to all. It's quite exciting to be in the neighborhood of my old alma mater, St. Rita High School, a couple of blocks away from here. And of course, as a lifelong, since I arrived from Mexico, Southwest Sider, it's great to be with all of the CREATE partners this morning, with the governor, senator, my colleagues from Congress, state legislators, the city council, President Preckwinkle. Delighted to join you this morning. There couldn't be a better time for anyone to be a member of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee in the United States Congress. What we have done in terms of renewing our infrastructure, investing in the essentials to keep our country thriving and growing is unprecedented in modern times. I represent the 4th District, which includes parts of the region that features the busiest rail hub in the country, with almost 500 freight trains and 750 passenger trains passing through each day. The funding announced today is not only significant for the amount that it represents, but because it will allow us to modernize and improve our supply chain and improve safety and convenience for commuters and residents across the region. I was here in 2022 when we broke ground. It's a much nicer day today. The sun is shining, the shelter is better. It was raining on that day, but here we are. I see transportation policy in Chicago as a matter of racial and economic justice as well. And for far too long, we haven't acknowledged it as a social justice matter that it is. I've witnessed the lasting impacts of underinvestment in our communities, which is why this celebration today is critical to promoting economic strength while providing the upgrades to street-level infrastructure that will be felt, including by residents across the region. Proud to have worked on passage of the bipartisan infrastructure law, all the benefits that it's bringing not only here, but to states across the country. Again, congratulations to all the partners. Let's keep the progress, and let's keep infrastructure front and center in Washington, D.C. Thank you for your leadership, Governor. Illinois was ahead of the nation, making investments in infrastructure, and it's part of the reason that we are here today. Thank you. Now it's my pleasure to introduce to you our Secretary of Transportation, Omer Osman. Omer Osman.
Good morning. Thank you, Congressman. It is great to see so many familiar faces here this morning. But I have said it before, but the CREATE program is a perfect example of transportation stakeholders coming together to creatively solve problems. But under the leadership of our governor, Governor Pritzker, IDOT is making investment up and down Illinois that are similar to the 75th Street. On one hand, we are improving quality of life and safety at the local level. On the other, we are also delivering far-reaching benefits for the region, the state, and the entire nation. We could not be more proud of the teamwork that is making this investment possible. The awards are indicative of our standing at the transportation hub of the nation. Going forward, I believe we have created a model to show how we must work together on these complex projects. Partnerships, such as the one on display here today, show a shared vision on how we can sequence projects and develop funding strategies. The days of just one agency or level of government going it alone are long over. To do big things require cooperation and hard work to ensure that we are all moving in the same direction. Together, something we clearly are up to task to deliver. And with that, Governor, I appreciate your kind word, and I'm forever, ever thankful to you for the opportunity. Thank you. Now, it's my great pleasure to introduce somebody who lives transportation, champions transportation, loves transportation, somebody whom I really admire, our awesome Lieutenant Governor, Giuliani.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Secretary Osmond, for your warm words and for 35 years of steadfast leadership of the Illinois Department of Transportation. If we have not met personally, I am Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton. Strengthening our infrastructure, easing congestion, building safer communities, and creating good-paying jobs for Illinoisans. What an incredible and historic celebration of Illinois' success. In the interest of time, I will echo Governor Pritzker's heartfelt appreciation for each and every one of you. I do also want to acknowledge Senate President Don Harmon, who is also here, and the governor and I are so appreciative of your leadership as well. I also want to add my immense gratitude for the U.S. Department of Transportation's ongoing support of the CREATE program. You know, we say that Illinois is in the middle of everything because when it comes to the U.S. economy, we hold an invaluable position. We are a essential hub of connection, and that's what we're really here to celebrate, connection. Chicago and Illinois have developed a national model for collaboration in the CREATE program. By demonstrating the power of public-private partnership, we have placed our state firmly in the middle of, well, everything. And because we have this responsibility to keep connections flowing, not just for our communities, but for the region, nation, most of North America, it's crucial that we empower our railways to work as efficiently and effectively as possible. It doesn't matter what's being moved or where it's being moved to. The railway is a critical artery, and the funds we celebrate today will relieve the inflammation currently causing a choke point. And when the tracks are reconfigured and the congestion has cleared, we will look back on today as a milestone in Illinois' national legacy. Before I go, I also want to acknowledge what these funds will do for the community, especially surrounding the 75th Street corridor. As a daughter of the South Side, I'm personally grateful that throughout all their success, the CREATE program has maintained a dedication to surrounding communities. Through career training programs, environmental improvements, STEM education in our classrooms, and attention to the quality of small details like sidewalks and lighting, they make sure that the people most impacted by any project are included in the process. So thank you to the Biden-Harris administration for your bold leadership, Illinois' congressional delegation for your persistent and effective advocacy, and CREATE for connecting us here at home and across the nation. Finally, thank you again to the U.S. Department of Transportation for empowering the magic that lives here in Illinois. Thank you, and with that, it's my honor to pass it to another champion of progress, Cook County Board President Toni Preckwinkle.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Governor. I was daydreaming when he said it the first time, so I got to get it right now. I want to begin by acknowledging and thanking the leaders who are here today. Our senior senator, thank you so much, Senator Durbin, for all of your good work. Our congresspeople, Quigley, Caston, and Garcia, thank you. Thank you. Governor Pritzker, Lieutenant Governor Stratton, thank you so much. State Senator and President Harmon and State Senator Willie Preston. From the office of our own Commissioner Stanley Moore, Derek Lavender. COO John Roberson of the City of Chicago. And I should say, my former colleagues from the City Council are downtown working on a budget, a small matter, for the City of Chicago. And so none of our older people are present, but we're grateful that you're here. I'm grateful to IDOT Secretary Osmond for his help and support over the course of my tenure as president of the county board. Thank you so much. We're really grateful. Let me acknowledge CDOT Commissioner Tom Carney, Metro CEO Jim Derwinski and our chair of the Metro Board, Joe McMahon, the Association of American Railroads President Ian Jeffries, and I am very grateful for the school leaders at the back. I want to acknowledge them again. And of course, our MC, Tanya Adams. I'd be remiss if I didn't also recognize the good work of the county's Chief Administrative Officer, Zara Ali, and the staff of the county's Department of Transportation and Highways, led by Jennifer Siskillen, and our Department of Transportation and Highways Director of Strategic Planning and Policy. There we go, Jesse Elam. So thank you. I'm grateful to be here to be part of this celebration. More than $290 million in federal funding has come to us through the Department of Transportation. Create Success is rooted in collaboration, and I want to thank all of our partners for your tireless work to strengthen our region's transportation infrastructure, which is so critical to the regional economy. This program is proof of what's possible when business, communities, and transportation agencies come together with a shared vision. This investment enables major progress in projects like the 80th Street and Belt Junction replacements. This will enhance rail capacity, improve service reliability, create good-paying construction jobs, all while supporting the freight-related industries that employ 100,000 people in Cook County. As the freight hub of North America, Cook County plays a pivotal role in keeping goods moving across the country. With that role comes responsibility to our residents, businesses, and the nation to get it right. While there's still work ahead, including critical projects like the P2 connection to the Rock Island line, the CREATE program is delivering results and building a foundation for future success. So I'm grateful to everyone whose hard work has made this development possible, and I want to turn the podium over to John Robertson.
Good morning. Thank you, President Preckwinkle. Again, my name is John Robertson. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for the City of Chicago, and I am honored to be here on behalf of our Mayor, Mayor Brandon Johnson. Today's announcement represents a significant step forward in advancing Chicago's transportation infrastructure. Seeing everyone from the public and private sectors here to join and reflect on the strength of our partnerships and what we can accomplish through our shared commitment to building a more connected and resilient future. I want to first thank our federal partners, the U.S. Department of Transportation. I want to thank Senator Durbin, not just for his leadership in this, but the leadership that he also shows in leading our efforts for the expansion of O'Hare Airport. Thank you, Senator. I want to thank our Illinois delegation that is here. Obviously, Governor Pritzker, Lieutenant Governor Stratton, thank you so very much. And of course, we want to thank the Biden-Harris administration. All of you, your unwavering support has been instrumental in making these transformative projects a reality. The newly awarded federal funding will advance the next phase of the 75th Street Corridor Improvement Project, specifically the 80th Street and Belt replacements. This is a critical investment in modernizing the infrastructure that will directly benefit Chicagoans, while also addressing the challenges that impact transportation across the country. The project will replace and restore multiple aging bridges and viaduct structures over city streets and upgrade a range of sidewalks, lighting, and more to enhance local safety for the Chicago South Side. This works, in the words of Mayor Brandon Johnson, because it invests in people. It creates jobs with opportunities for union labor and disadvantaged businesses like RM Chin and many of our CREATE partners that are a part of this enterprise, to ensure economic benefits reach every corner of our community. When you hear that train sound, when you hear those horns, what we are hearing is opportunity. The CREATE program stands as a national model for the endless possibility of public and private partnerships. It is a great example of the federal government, the state government, our county government, and our city government all working together for the benefit of the residents of the city of Chicago and the citizens of Illinois. The positive impact of these projects and our continued work only reinforces Chicago's standing as the nation's premier transportation hub, driving economic growth through streamlined freight operations and enhanced passenger rail connections. So again, on behalf of Mayor Brandon Johnson, I want to thank all of you who are standing here alongside us on celebrating Create today. And at this time, I'd like to introduce the Metro CEO, Jim Derwinski.
Good morning. And good morning, President Preckwinkle. I didn't want to. On behalf of our board, our employees, and all our passengers, I want to thank you all for having Metra here. As the rail operator, we see this very differently. We are seeing how we can operate this system way differently. But I want to say we couldn't do this without all our funding partners. So thank you very much to all of our funding partners. Without this is just a dream. 20 years ago, actually there was a snowstorm in '99 that brought on what is now the CREATE program. And 20 years ago, this particular segment was considered out of reach. Today, as you look behind us and you see the giant viaduct going up, you hear the trains rolling by, we are actually moving this forward. It's going to increase velocity through here for freight and passenger. Interstate commerce is going to benefit. Emissions reductions are going to benefit. And it's going to be safer for all the communities because trains aren't going to be having to sit on crossings. This bottleneck, largest in the country, is going to have benefits states away. So as an operator, I really appreciate the time to be here and comment. And also, I want to point out Bill Thompson here in the front row. He's the guy with the biggest smile on his face. For 20 years, he's been really pulling us together. He works with all our rail partners, and it's not easy. It's not easy working with all the railroads. Anybody that works with railroads knows that we're very territorial. And Bill, you do a great job with that. I also want to just recognize our labor partners in the front row, or second row here. We couldn't operate the railroads without all of these partners. So again, this is really a historic, transformational day. This is going to change many things for almost generations to come. When they laid these tracks back in the 1800s, before automobiles were invented, they couldn't have envisioned how we changed railroading. This will now change how we can railroad. So I would like to bring up now the other person that represents all the railroads, the president of the American Associates Railroads, Ian Jeffers.
Good morning. I was told to pull this back so it doesn't go off the stage, so no one needs that. Good news, I'm the last speaker. So you all have hung in there very well. But as a mentor of mine once said, everything's been said, but not everyone said it. So I guess it's my turn. This is a big deal. And I want to recognize every single person on the stage because this stuff isn't easy. And it took personal engagement by every single person on this stage, patience, steadfast leadership, and commitment to get this project to fruition. And as President Biden said, this is a big freaking deal. Although I think he may have used another word, I'm not sure. But I want to recognize my friend and colleague, Secretary Osman. He and I have worked through a lot of these projects together, and it's never easy, right? But we've gotten it done, and it's my honor and privilege to represent the freight railroads in this process. Mr. Quigley said, he gets a lot of folks coming in saying, how do we do a Create in our city? And you do a Create in another city by having the commitment and the dedication from congressional leadership, Senate leadership, gubernatorial leadership, county, city, state, passenger railroads, freight railroads, everyone willing to put skin and time in the game, and sometimes willing to step up for projects that may not help them today, but they know another project around the corner is going to help them tomorrow. As my colleague Mr. Derwinski said, this is a 20-plus year endeavor, and it's so gratifying to have been here on that rainy day in 2022 to see this coming to fruition. I hope you can feel my excitement because the best is yet to come, and I can't wait to see the first train come across the project out here, hopefully before the end of next year. So we'll all see you then at that point. And thank you again. Thank you for your time. Thank you to everyone. And have a great day.
That was 13, right? All righty. Glad I was one. This concludes our program today, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone here and for all of your support of the CREATE program. We share this success with all of you. Your support has been instrumental in taking this program to where it is today, and we're so grateful for your partnership. We look forward to the road ahead and continue to transform transportation here in the great state of Illinois and in Chicago. We'd like to wish everyone an enjoyable and happy holiday season. Enjoy, everyone. Take care.